Hello friends, welcome you all. Friends, there is one topic in English literature, syllabus that it is unit 10, research methods in English and literature. So here in today's video, I am going to narrate some of the important questions along with explanation on this particular unit. I created this video before explaining what is methodology of research in English, what is research in English studies, because I wanted to make you know that which types of question are asked in exam of UGC NET and SET. Okay, because this particular topic was added just before 1 year in 2019. So you will not find so many questions in previous year's question papers regarding this topic. So in this video series, I'm going to create so many videos on different topics of research methods in English. So friends, be with me in this video series. For that, you have to subscribe it, friends, because you are going to have so many videos on different units of UGC NET syllabus in a well manner. Yes, and along with descriptive videos, I'm going to add some videos which are only exam oriented, because exam oriented videos means the videos which are having only the questions, only the one liners, which can help you a lot in your exams. So don't forget to subscribe this channel for getting such video material as well as PDFs of English literature as well as research. Without wasting much time, let's begin today's video. In very near future, you are going to get such videos from my channel. So let's begin today's video, friends. So this is the topic of today's video, unit 10, research methods and materials in English. Yes, friends. So let's begin the questions. First of all, the question is, which of the following combinations best describes the typical methodology of literary research? Friends, this is a question of literature studies. So we have to identify the method here. So the options are, so four options are here, friends. First of all, direct and empirical and qualitative. So first method is first option is there. Then phenomenological, speculative and abstract. Then textual, critical and historical. Then synoptic, conceptual and speculative. So friends, here a question is regarding the literary studies and a methodology followed for literary studies. So what can be the answer, friends? We have to identify the best combination here. So the answer can be D. Sorry, the option is written here wrongly. It is C. Okay, so textual, critical and historical. Option number C is correct here, friends. Textual, critical and historical. Because in textual research, we have to read the texts. We have to read out the texts of literature. Then in the second one, critical. In critical, we are going to criticize the texts, criticizing the texts after reading. After reading, we are going to criticize the texts. Then in historical means which is relevant to history. Okay, the books itself are related to history. These are history itself. That's why it is history. The combination here is textual, critical and historical. It will be the best combination for the typical methodology of literary research. Then friends, the second question, which one of the following is the right definition of peer review? So peer review, very important word from research. So here options are, first one is post publication process in which the work is submitted to a panel of reviewers for ascertaining quality. Then in the second one, it is a pre-publication process in which work submitted for publication is evaluated for quality by experts in the field. Then in the C1, a pre-publication process in which work submitted for publication is accompanied by a recommendation of other experts in the field. Then in this D option, a post-publication process in which the work is submitted for the professional review. So friends, we have to identify the right definition of peer review. It is a method of reviewing the articles and research papers. So right option is B. It is a pre-publication process. Pre-publication process, before publication, this process is going on. And in this process, a work submitted for publication is just evaluated by the experts for the quality by the experts in the field of research. So they are going to check the quality. The quality is very important, friends, in this one. The quality check was going on in this evaluation process, and it is going on pre-publication, before publication of that particular article or research. So that is peer review, a pre-publication process in which work submitted for publication is evaluated for quality by experts in the field. Then friends, in the third question, while looking for publication details of a book, a researcher may consult the book's copyright page, which may appear. So friends, here, before publication of a book, a researcher can consult the book's copyright page, which can appear on which side. So we have to identify the proper appropriate side here, where it can be appeared. So whether it is just after the cover page, or usually the reverse of the title page, or C, invariably the reverse of the title page, or just before the title page. So what can be the answer, friends? Here we can read out the question once again. While looking for publication details of a book, a researcher may consult the book's copyright page, which may appear. So the answer is B. Yes, answer is B, because usually it is on the reverse side of the title page. So friends, here we have a book format, okay, and this is the title page of our book, and on the back side of this book we can see the copyright details. Okay, so on this reverse side of the title page we can find the copyright page, book's copyright page, friends. Then match the following correctly. Here column A and column B are given. So the four different questions in the form of matchings, we can say, here we have. So in column A, some short forms are given, and in column B, its short definition is given. So we have to identify. First one is non sequitur. Non sequitur is there, then opposite, then et al, and then ibid. So here in column B, we can say and others, it does not follow in the same place in the works cited. So these are the options, and we have to match the different things appropriately. So to correctly match the series would be as per these codes. The codes are given here, friends, A, B, C, D. So these are the codes. It is very confusing, because when we have to identify the according to the code, it is little bit confusing because these are so many. Yes, so let's move to the answer. The answer is A. Answer is A, the first one, friends. So BDAC. BDAC is the right answer, friends, here. For example, here for A, first one, non sequitur, it will be B. So B will here, this one. It does not follow. First of all, Non sequitur is a word for the meaning of it does not follow. Then the opposite, second one. For second one, D is the right one. So opposite will be matched to D. In the work cited. And friends, opposite means opero citato. Opero citato. It is the full form of this Latin word. It is a Latin word. Opposite is a Latin word, and its full form is opero citato. And it is it means that in the work cited. In the work cited. So it is its full form. So opposite means in the work cited. Then et al. Et al is once again the word from Latin language. Okay, so et al means ita et alia. Et alia is its full form, et alia, and it is also a Latin word which means and others. Okay, so here we can match it with a, and others is its meaning. At all means and others. Then ibid. So what remains last? Ibid means in the same place. It is sometimes written in the references in bibliography. Ibid. Ibid is also a Latin word. It means in the same place. So friends, once again, non sequitur means it does not follow. Then opposite means in the same, in the work cited, and et al means and others, and in ibid we can match it with C, in the same place. Then the next question is, as a researcher, what role do you think to be most appropriate for yourself to assume? So here we have different description of such role. So what role do you think to be most appropriate for yourself to assume as a researcher? So let's read out. Of someone who knows what others need to know, and to cast your reader as someone who doesn't know but needs to. Then the second one is of someone who does not know what others need to know, and to cast your reader as someone who knows more than you do. Then in C, of someone who neither knows what others need to know, not as one who knows more what readers need to know. And in D, of someone who knows what others need to know, but one who casts your reader as someone who knows just about enough. So friends, here different descriptions are given here for the role of a researcher, and the right option is first one. Yes, of someone who knows about others need to know, and to cast your reader as someone who doesn't know but needs to. So here the question is about the researcher has to play a role for those who want to, who doesn't know the things, and that those things are narrated by the researcher himself in his research. So here researcher is a person who knows what others need to know. He knows that what other people need to know, and to cast your reader as someone who doesn't know but needs to. So they need to know something, and the researcher is the person who is going to make them know such things. So that is the role of a researcher. Then what do you understand by textual research? So we have options here, friends. 4 different options are there. Textual research, whether it is establishment of an authoritative text, or whether it is correctness of past edition, or whether it is genuineness of the text, or whether it is all of the above. So the right option is all of the above, friends. Yes, because textual research is based on texts. So establishment of an authoritative text will be there. Okay, then correctness of past edition, this particular thing we are going to read out and search about. Then genuineness of the text, it will be needed there. So all the three different things are important in textual research. That's why textual research means all these things: establishment of an authoritative text, correctness of past edition, and genuineness of the text. So option number D is correct here. Then, which of the followings are the prerequisites of a researcher in subjects of humanities and social sciences? So prerequisites, which are the important things? So here I have outlined some of the options, friends. The prerequisites we have to identify from this particular question, and these are mentioned here. What can be the right answer, friends? First one is there: archives and supervisors, topic, knowledge, or whether it is B, patience, critical analysis, topic, supervisor, or whether it is flexible thinking, records, topic, supervisor, or whether it is D, good behavior, honesty, supervisor, topic, biased assumptions. So what can be the right answer, friends? The right answer is B, patience, critical analysis, and topic and supervisor, because patience will be needed there in the researcher, and then critical analysis very much important to analyze the topic, then the topic itself, and the supervisor who will supervise the work done by the researcher. So these are the prerequisites, friends. Prerequisites means the important things we will need it in the planning of our research. Okay, in the beginning of the research, these are the prerequisites, friends. Then in the question number 8, in English studies, these are the four options. In English studies, only qualitative methods are used, or only quantitative methods are used, or both qualitative and quantitative methods are used, or none of the above methods are used. So we have to identify which methods are used, or both the methods are used, or none of the methods are used. So the right option is, friends, right option is C. Both qualitative and quantitative methods are used in English studies, because in qualitative aspect we will go for the texts, criticism works, okay, and so many historical books. And in quantitative we are going for the data, available in numbers, data available in numbers. That's why it is qualitative as well as quantitative. It will need both the methods. Then, use of dates in literary texts in connection with authors would be a part of which kind of research? So here we have to select one suitable method, the most suitable method: archival method, or historical method, or quantitative method, or all of the above. So friends, use of dates, as I mentioned in the earlier question, that dates are very important, the data in the form of data. Then literary texts in connection with authors would be a part of which kind of research? So it is all of the above, friends, because it will have archival method, because archives the historical backgrounds of different literary texts and historical ideas, literary books of history. Then quantitative method for the dates and numbers. So all the above methods will be there in the use of dates in literary texts in connection with authors in research. So the most suitable method are all these three methods are the most suitable method here. Then friends, the 10th question and the last question: which of the following methods are used in English literary studies? So which methods are used, friends? That we have to identify. So four options are here. First one is archival method, oral history, visual methodologies, or option number B, ethnographic studies, discourse analysis, textual analysis, or interviewing, autobiographical methods, or all of the above, friends. So what can be the right answer, friends? And the right answer is all of the above, because we will need archival method also, oral history, spoken by someone, and visual methodologies which can be collected by visuals, by pictures, by images, by symbols. Then ethnographic studies by the people, by the culture of followed by different people. Discourse analysis and textual analysis. Then interviewing someone. Then autobiographical methods also. So all these methods will come there in English literature studies, friends. So no method can be omitted from this list. So archival, oral, visual, ethnographic studies, discourse analysis, textual analysis, interview, and autobiographical methods, friends. So all these methods are useful in literary studies. So friends, that's all for today. You can follow me on these different social media platforms. And one more thing, friends, I'm going to upload the descriptive uh, ideas of research methods in English literature. So please subscribe to my channel. You can also share my videos to many people who really need it. And these videos are free videos, free video content it is. And I'm going to upload each and every thing on my blog also in the form of PDF, in the form of material. You can download it for your betterment and for your purpose. So friends, that's all for today. And please follow me on these online platforms for the latest updates on UGC NET and SET exams. Thank you so much.